Hi there, this is Thorsten Hans, and today I'd like to show you my new Yeoman generator, which is responsible for creating you an entire suite for writing Share Coffee add-ons. So if you're interested in contributing to Share Coffee, it's very easy to create new add-ons using this Yeoman generator. If you haven't seen Yeoman yet, you should definitely go to yeoman.io and get a feeling of what this awesome workflow offers you as a web developer. During this video I would like to describe how to install Yeoman and my new generator and how to create a new add-on for Share Coffee. So let's move over to the terminal, and let's say I would like to install Yeoman first. So you should have already installed Node.js on your system, and with Node.js installed you could just use Node's packaging manager to install Yeoman globally, and it's pulling down all the requirements and all the dependencies from the web and installs them on your system. And right after that is finished, we're going to install the generator. Also globally. Generators always has to be installed globally. Okay, and now we are all set. So let's create a new directory for our add-on, and let's call it foobar for this example. Go into that directory and execute yo followed by the name of the generator you would like to invoke. So in our example it's Share Coffee add-on, and the generator is going to ask you several questions. Like this one, he's asking for the name of the add-on, which is fine, and we could provide a description which will be placed in the readme file, the NuGet spec file, and so on and so on. So this, for example, it's also okay, and the author's name, which will be placed in the license file and in the package JSON file and stuff like that. Okay, right after that it's generating the project structure in the back and pulling all the required dependencies down to your system. And what we got, I will show you in a minute. Just open up an editor. Not this one, also not this one. And what we get is an entirely configured project directory with all the things you need. So there's a grunt file which is able for executing, building, testing, all the stuff, and that's exactly the same grunt file that I use for writing Share Coffee and its existing add-ons. There's a pre-configured unit test file which you could extend over here. There's the actual the CoffeeScript source. There is the distribution folder where all the compiled files will go to, a documentation folder, and so on and so on. So you get a ton of stuff within no time. And there's also the new spec file which describes the new Share Coffee add-on foobar, sharecoffee.foobar called in this example, which has a dependency to the core Share Coffee package. One important aspect for generating NuGet packages: currently it's not possible to generate the NuGet packages on a Mac. So if you're going to publish your add-on to NuGet, you have to execute the NuGet generation task on Windows. But that's totally fine. All the tools, all the frameworks work perfectly on Windows, so that should not be the problem to grab a Windows machine and execute the corresponding build task. Okay, with all that, we could directly go to the terminal again and say grunt test, which executes all the existing unit tests in our add-on. You could execute grunt build, which is actually responsible for running the unit tests, compiling CoffeeScript to JavaScript, minifying the JavaScript file, generating a documentation for your CoffeeScript. The only thing which isn't done by the by the build task is the NuGet generation. So if you execute grunt default or just grunt, for example, then it will do exactly the same thing as grunt build will do. In addition to that, it's also executing the NuGet task, which will fail on the macOS machine. But if you're interested in generating the NuGet package, as I've said before, then you should execute exactly this one on a Windows machine. And within the root directory, there are several other interesting files like editor-config. Editor-config is an add-on which is available for the most popular IDEs, including Visual Studio, which is handling all the indentation and spacing formatting for you. There is a gitignore file which ensures that the node modules will not go to your source control if you're using Git. So if you'd like to set up the Git repository, you just have to say git init, git add, git commit, and right here you see everything is now stored in a Git version control in a Git repository, and you're fine. So hopefully you get a rough understanding of what this generator is for and how you can use it. And if you have any problems or any feedback from it, would be great to get some comments, or if you actually have problems, just feel free to open an issue on the GitHub project side.